Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Diecast Emporium Military Mondays, brought to you by my friends at smallscalehobbies.com. You guys know the deal. If you are into military models and or wargaming, look no further. Visit smallscalehobbies.com for all of your military model needs. Okay, in today's episode, we're going to learn a little bit about the M88 Armored Recovery Vehicle. Now, longtime viewers of this series on my channel will automatically remember that I already did a review and a segment of Military Mondays on the M88. However, the M88 that was in that video is the current version of the M88, the M88 Hercules, which is, again, the model that is in service with the military today. This version is the predecessor to that, the original M88 that was first used by the military in the Vietnam War. Now, if this is the one that was used in the Vietnam War, you're asking yourself, why is it painted in light sand or tan? Well, because these versions were also used in the first Gulf War, Operation Desert Shield, Desert Storm, 1990-1991. So that is what I wanted this one to be based off of. I probably will end up getting a third one just to have a sample that I could put in with the Vietnam collection. But that said, this one specifically, to clean things up and tie things together, this M88 is not a Hercules. It is not a current version of the M88. This one is just the M88, not an A2, not an A3, not a Hercules. This is the one that you would have seen in Southeast Asia, Vietnam, and into Desert Storm in the 90s. So, information about the real vehicle. They were in service from 1961 to present. It took a crew of 3 to operate these M88s. They had little to no offensive armament other than, as you can see on here, I do have an M2 50 caliber machine gun. That's pretty much all they had. Some of them did have smoke screens, and they could divert the exhaust as well for additional smoke screen protection. But that's about it. So what is their main role if they weren't an offensive vehicle, which obviously they aren't. It's not a tank or infantry fighting vehicle. So the specific role for the M88 was to repair or replace damaged parts under fire in fighting vehicles, as well as, if need be, extract vehicles that become disabled. So obviously you can see the large boom, which is actually called an A-frame right here. And this could remove, if need be, the largest tanks at the time, so your M48s and M60s, and put them on flatbed trailers and get them out of Dodge if need be. So I mentioned the A-frame boom, this right here, that could lift up to 35 tons, but in order to do that, you need to have perfect ground conditions, a stabilized platform, and then obviously the spade or the dozer blade lowered down for additional stability. So, on to the model now that you see in front of you. Again, if you remember the other M88 that I've shown on this channel, that was a resin kit. This is a plastic kit by a different manufacturer. This is actually a MiniTanks kit seen here. So I'll just go over some details first. This is the box. You can see some leftover parts in here. There's a few different tie-on points, a couple different wheels as well, replacement roller wheels. This is the color that the original model was before I painted it. So it's that same ugly green color that MiniTanks has used. Other than that, not much on the box. These are the instructions. These kits are a lot of fun to do, especially if you are a new collector. Very simplistic to do. You start out with the tracks at the bottom. You then go on to the underside. You can add the hitch and the back pieces as well. Then you add, of course, the dozer blade, and then you work your way up to including the different accessories you want to put on, and then obviously the A-frame and the hook block goes on at the last portion. Again, nothing on the back. So if you are just getting your feet wet in the military hobby, or especially building any kind of model kit for the young ones that may be watching this video, can't recommend this kit enough. It is very easy and fun to do. Even if you want to paint it and take your time, you can get this done in one Saturday afternoon. Really what takes the longest, honestly, is priming it and painting it. But the actual assembly process, if you just wanted to assemble this and leave it in the factory green color that it comes in, honestly, you could probably knock this out in under an hour. A couple things I do want to note first. If you want to make the A-frame functional, so if you want to make the actual hoist functional like I have on mine that I'll show you in a minute, make sure you don't glue it at the mounting points. Obviously, it will not be functional if you glue it. And same thing with the dozer blades. So these just sit in at the front. So if you want that to be functional as well, just lay them in there. You can use a little bit of plastic putty, but certainly don't use any modeling glue or super glue, or it will just stay in one position. All right, that's an overview of the instructions and the packaging. As for the cost of this model, I did get it from my friends at Small Scale Hobbies, and it's one of the best deals that you can get right now. This kit is $16.99 US, not including tax or shipping. But again, when you break up the cost of entertaining yourself for multiple hours, you can't even see a movie, really do any other attraction for $16.99 for multiple hours and get your money out of it. So very fun and very enjoyable to do. All right, focusing on the model itself. So there's the details on the tracks. These are a couple different accessory pieces. The fuel cans that you see on the side, those did not come with this model. That's actually off of an accessory kit by AlsaCast. So I painted those green and put them on the side. Another cool working feature is if you see the hatch, the gunner's hatch, that can go up and down. Right now I kind of have it open. And then you can move the gun too, 360 degrees if you want. But the best part of this model is the working A-frame. So I'll move the stand just for a second here so you guys can get the full view of it. You can move it all the way to the front. And then obviously you can move or take it off. You can move your hook line too. Because you're going to want to move the hook line obviously this way or that way, depending on if you have the model in a parked position or if you have it working. But if you have a tank, or really any other vehicle from the same era that you are modeling, and you want to pose it being loaded on a flatbed trailer, or even on a flat car if you have a train layout, or even if you're doing a diorama of a military scene, this is a very awesome model to pick up and to demonstrate that for the M88's recovery capabilities. That will end this week's edition of Diecast Emporium Military Mondays, brought to you by my friends at SmallScaleHobbies.com. Again, in conclusion, all you really need to know, great fun entry-level model to do. It isn't expensive. It looks great when it's finished. And this is a model that really covers over 5 decades of military history, whether you want to model something from the Vietnam era, into the Cold War era, then on to Operation Desert Storm, Desert Shield, and then even into today with our actions in Afghanistan and Iraq, and then our current operations in the global war on terror abroad. This model will easily fit any of those time periods. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to us on Diecast Emporium if you haven't already, and if you're taking a look at your screen right now, as well as you should be this entire video, if you enjoyed this video, you'll see a playlist of all of my other Military Mondays videos. Be sure to check those out, as you will like those as well. Be safe, take care, I'll see you in the next review.